TV South by Southwest Live. We've been having so much fun, but this is one of the movies that I went after hardcore because this is exactly our market. If you watch Fanservice on Thursdays, you know exactly what our market is. So I want to introduce some of the guys behind the Dwarvenaut. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, my name's...
No, go ahead.
My name's Josh Bishop. I'm the director of the movie.
And also Robin Hood on the side.
Yes, I am Stefano. I am the Dwarvenaut.
So let's tell everybody in about 2 sentences what the Dwarvenaut is about.
The Dwarvenaut is about an artist named Stefan Courtney who's on a mission to unite the human race using Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
And I, sorry,
Yes.
allergies. And I can stand behind that 100%. As a role player myself, I can agree to unite the world through role playing and D&D.
Yes. Well, I feel that, everyone is sort of getting more and more sucked into their computer screens and their phones. I mean, you go down the street and you see everybody walking around with their phones, and that's like the zombie apocalypse happening, like right before us.
Exactly.
And so I feel like, in a way, you're sort of helping to save mankind and humankind by getting people to go out of their houses, gather together, sit around a table, and weave these yarns together and game together, and that helps us retain our humanity and not become like drones.
And it helps the dice industry.
Yes.
I mean, without dice, the world isn't there.
It helps the D20 industry.
Well, D6, the D4, D10.
It's fun to roll dice.
So,
Yeah.
how did you decide to approach making this movie?
Well,
Because it's kind of a grand thing. Let's change the world through Dungeons & Dragons. And, we had that whole Dungeons & Dragons is
It has
evil.
already changed the world.
How?
It is.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, think about...
Influenced a lot of things.
I mean, according to several actors and directors, like, The Rock made, like, Fast and the Furious based off a D&D campaign.
Really? Because what was he doing? Racing around the forest trying to run over dragons?
He explained it in a very interesting way. He said all the characters and all the cars represent classes, and it makes sense. I mean...
So from the filmmaking side, how did you, sit down and decide, you know what, I want to do this?
Well, I was introduced to him, and the idea was around before I came on board officially as the director of the film. And I just immediately saw, to me, this is not only a movie about Dungeons and Dragons. This is a movie about an important artist.
Yeah.
So instead of taking the approach of, I'm going to make a D&D documentary, I'm going to make a film about a man who uses Dungeons and Dragons as his artistic vehicle. So, and that's what I set out. And that's what we
Which
did.
I think is a very noble thing, but my question is, how epically serious were these campaigns that you were running for Dungeons & Dragons?
I mean, the man raises $2.5 million each time that he does a campaign. They're pretty damn serious.
There's no Monty Python going on here.
Playing,
It's...
since I was young. 12, 13 years old.
So which edition is that?
First edition.
Oh, wow.
The original, Gary Gygax edition.
What was your
Yeah,
very
old
first
school.
character?
Oh, man, I died so many times. I don't know.
I know his first character's name was Ganthor, and he got
Yeah.
killed by a Balrog.
Perhaps it was.
Well, if
yes,
you're going to get
yes.
killed by something, when you get
Ganthor.
killed by a Balrog,
Yeah.
go out epically,
I was actually reading Lord of the Rings at the same time I first started playing D&D, so they kind of had a very big effect on me.
Yeah.
And then Robert E. Howard, and then I got into all the other fantasy books, and I love the fantasy covers.
Oh, yeah.
Frank Frazetta, and we used to go Coliseum Books in 57th Street to go and peruse the covers, and all of this affected my young brain, and it just stuck with me.
And you also made a business out of it now. You've actually made
And at some point, my artistic career, I started as an artist, and I, at some point decided, well, I love to play D&D, but we don't have proper environments. We have to use grease markers and create designs on graph paper. Why don't we have three-dimensional environments? So I decided, well, I'm a sculptor. Let me sculpt the pieces. And that's how Dwarven Forge came into being. And we started selling three-dimensional dungeons. And now it's 20 years later, and Dwarven Forge is very successful. And we have a Kickstarter going right now for castles, modular castles.
And then we'll have to talk about that here in a bit.
So what was the most revealing thing you discovered when making this film?
That he's a serious artist. At first, I thought that it was going to be a movie just about Dungeons and Dragons and geek culture, but dawned on me quickly that the guy actually has done something very different.
Were you part of the geek culture before that?
No.
So it was all new to you.
It was very new to me. I came in
He
at
still
with-
hasn't even played D&D.
I
You
have
haven't
two.
made
We
him
did two.
play?
We played a game.
We
We
played
played
once?
one game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before a little.
Okay, how long did you last in his game?
3 hours.
See, I always have the luck of the die on my side. Like, I can get out of anything. Like, I'll go crazy and the GM will try to kill me. Oop, sorry, I got away.
It's like life, you know. I mean, you can plan things, but maybe life doesn't have it end up that way. There's an element of, uncertainty.
That's what the dice are for.
That's what the dice are for, yeah.
You know that they make weather die now? You can roll the die and set a weather condition?
Absolutely.
It's
I mean,
absolutely,
dice
like,
for
someone told me
everything.
about that. I was like, who thought of that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just taking, because it used to be back in the day, there was books on charts and random encounters, and it's like, all right, rolled an E20. Oh, I rolled an 18. You guys get the Bronze Dragon.
Yeah, we
I
still
mean,
have that.
yeah, Book of Encounters and whatnot. That was always fun. And yes, being a serious artist, I mean, I used to do a lot of sculpting and whatnot, and I've seen some. I have a lot of art friends. Yes, art is very serious. I mean, it seems fun, but be a good artist.
The
Serious.
Dungeons and Dragons is serious.
It is.
Yeah.
How have you taken to all the changes it's gone over the course of from 1 to 5th edition?
Well, we have a lot of discussion about that at conventions and stuff. Which edition is better? But I think that it really doesn't matter. I think whatever edition you enjoy, if it gets you and your friends around the table, then I think it's a good edition.
You know what? I like that. That can also be said for almost any. If you're not into D&D and you're into other systems, roll with it. You don't have to take the pressures of that.
Yeah. In
I mean-
fact, if you just want to dress up in a costume and come out to a show, and we have a lot of cosplayers and LARPers, and it used to be like 20 years ago there was like not that many women coming to the conventions,
Yeah.
But now that's changed.
Yeah.
I think at Gen Con they have more women than men now. That's amazing.
I know at Gen Con they even have a family day where, I mean, it used to be like everyone was single, and now in this days you see gamers bring with the strollers and
Yes.
the dad with the thing on the
Gamers
front.
are actually reproducing.
Well, yes.
It's amazing, right? And their kids are going to grow up in a much better way than those boring people, as I like to call them.
And the parents, my customers, they play with their children now, and they just love it. I get these glowing letters,
And that's the purpose of what you do. And you have to have this sense of accomplishment when you see families coming out, getting away from the TV, getting away from the phone, and doing something together, because nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, that's the saving the humanity part.
And you know what? I think everyone, nobody can see is behind our cameras right now. Every time you mention something, there is cheery, this quiet.
Yeah, we've got LARPers on our crew. We've got, because we are geeks and gamers by nature. And so what is your favorite Dungeons and Dragons themed media? Like, I've never enjoyed the movies. I think I enjoyed the cartoon from the 80s, but I don't remember it. Like, there's a roller coaster or something?
I totally remember that.
I remember
that Saturday morning cartoon.
Well, sure.
So what is your favorite Dungeons and Dragons in media?
Media.
Like film, TV, book-wise?
Well, I mean, Peter Jackson did a great. I mean, the Lord of the Rings is basically Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
I mean, that's basically what it is.
Conan.
Conan the Barbarian, Excalibur, all those movies might as well be Dungeons and Dragons.
There's an old anime. I pulling out the anime card here. Record of Lotus Wars.
Yes, I do remember that.
You've never seen that one?
I'm not that much of a geek,
It's an anime that actually was somebody's D&D campaign. They actually turned into an anime.
Yeah.
The main character is actually a berserker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now that you've been in the geek world, do you plan on staying here? You're like, okay, I'm packing my bags, I'm going.
Stefan and I have become very, very, very good friends, so I'm not going anywhere. But, I have other aspirations, too.
All right, so we're about out of time. So where can people find out more about everything that you do?
Well, dwarvenforge.com. They go there. You can see everything that we make, and we actually have a Kickstarter going on right now for the world's greatest modular castle. This is the greatest castle ever created. I've brought all my best fans into the fold, and we brainstormed for like 2 years, and we have the most incredible castle. Everyone should check it out.
Also, you guys are going to be...
And the film, this Dwarvenaut film is happening in like an hour or so.
Dwarvenaut.com.
Dwarvenaut.
And you guys are actually going to be somewhere else in Austin later this week, right?
At the bar. We'll be...
They'll be drinking in
I have
Arbor.
a
It'll be
free
awesome.
ticket, and,
And so Thursday, you guys will be at Dragon Slayer.
at some point we'll be at the store.
Yeah,
trying
so they'll be doing a live stream,
to
so you guys can head out
run
there.
a game.
So we hope you guys enjoy your South by Southwest experience
Thank you.
and have a great week here in Austin.
I love this.
Two
city.
more screenings,
My
by the way,
first
after
time
today.
here. My
Two more
first
screenings
time.
after today at the Alamo Draft House, Lamar, on Monday and on Thursday. So
Cool
please come
beans.
check it
Yeah.
out.
Which is the best place
There's
to watch it at
time.
the Draft House.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with more South by Southwest Live right after this.
Can I say that? Can I talk
You
about
can
monster
talk
porn?
about monster porn all you want. Because I mean, that's
everything-
what we used to call True Blood in my house, and you know that's essentially what it was towards the end of it.
Get back to your point.